subsidized daycare is available only to pretty poor families, right? But even among those, a lot of people don't get served. So they have these long waiting lists of qualified families who just don't get the help because there isn't enough money to go around. So I went to Florida to find out what those families were doing with their children.
Right.
And I went down there, and here I can insert myself into this story with my 10-month-old son. And so, I got viscerally what it meant to have a little child and to leave it in a situation that I saw. And the things I saw were parents who took their kids to work with them, and often in not great situations, and that was upsetting. But it wasn't. What really killed me was the very inexpensive daycares, and sometimes, ironically, these actually were paid for with federal subsidies. So we're having, the little government money that we have available often goes to these really horrible childcare situations because we pay childcare workers often minimum wage. So these are people who could make more flipping burgers.
Yes.
And so you just, when I was down there, you couldn't find people to take these jobs. So at one of the centers I went to, it was, there were babies in cribs. I think there were 8, and with one adult. And the adult couldn't take them out of the crib because she couldn't handle them all. So they were, it was like an orphanage in Romania, remember all that? It was,
Yes.
babies, and I walked in the room and they all lifted up their hands to me because they wanted to be picked up. And, I was, like, I knew how to respond to that. I wanted to pick them all up. But they, and it wasn't even like they were wailing, most of them, maybe 1 or 2, but the worst part was that they just seemed inured to it. They were, like, used to neglect. And so, I mean, that will stay with me for a long time. And at that childcare center, the director, and it's now closed, by the way, but the director told me, freely admitted to me, a journalist, that earlier that day, she and one other adult had been in charge by themselves of 38 toddlers.
Holy cow.
Right?
Yeah.
38.
And if there'd ever been a fire.
No, I mean, or anything. One of them trips, and I mean, she said that afterwards her heart was beating so fast, because she understands how dangerous that is, I mean, and so she said that basically, she was so scared the only thing she could do was turn on the television. So then they all just sat there and watched television, and it's just, this is not valuing families. This is not what we talk about as a family-friendly nation. That's horrible. And, both parties give all this lip service to children, and we're doing it for the next generation and the future of America. But if you treat the next generation that way, you're going to end up someplace very, very bad. I think we're already there.